start with you, Kelly. I want you to explain, like, share your story with us.
I think my experience with depression started at a very young age. My mother suffered with bipolar disorder and depression. She had extremely bad depressive episodes, which led to multiple suicide attempts. They were very, very traumatic for obviously a young child who didn't understand what she was, going through and stuff. One of the first times she tried committing suicide, she overdosed on her medication. So that's why I have a very bad relationship with antidepressants and all that. So it was really hard to see. So my dad even broke down the door trying to get to her and stuff. And this would always happen 2 weeks before Christmas. So I know that Christmas is also a time when depression actually rises amongst, both male and female. I think the second time, again, it was around 2 weeks before Christmas. Again, the cycle was always kind of the same. And I was studying with my father, really chill, and she went to go have her afternoon nap. When he went to go check on her, I just see him running out of the room in rage, just saying mommy's hurt herself. And I went to run to my brother who was studying another part of the house. And all I remember is her being kind of carried out of the house with basically her arms wrapped because she had literally slit her wrists. And I remember going into the room afterwards, and there was a really, really bad smell because of the pool of blood that was in the room. And for that time, I spent a lot of time away from home because I felt like I couldn't look at this person for quite some time. So I stayed with some family members, which helped. And for a period of time, she was okay, but it was quite repetitive, her habits.
And how old were you here?
I think I was around 8 years old.
That's a lot to deal with when you're still that
Definitely.
young.
8. And it's you'd always try to cheer this person up because all I knew was, she's sad and everything. You don't really understand what depression is or what what bipolar actually is at that moment in time. And it also used to affect my relationship with friends because I would say, I'm going to go hang out with these particular friends at school, and their parents wouldn't want me to hang out with them. Because she's your mom's unwell, that people didn't understand what depression is, and at the time. So that had affected also my childhood and with meeting people and everything. One of the last times, she had there's basically this plant around Malta which grows. It's called the Nerum oleander plant. It's those pink flowers which grow on literally all the roads. And my mom used to be what was it called?
Botanist?
My mom, she used to garden a lot, so she knew about plants. But she was also a pharmacist back in the day. So she knew her way around these things. And she sent me up to my grandmother, and I was just being a bit as if, why are you sending me up now to do this? And I realized she was drinking something, but I just didn't. My mom loved her herbal teas and stuff. So I didn't take much notice till I saw her rushing to the bathroom, having a shower, and then she just started feeling sick. And I'm going, this is really not like her. So again, I rushed to my brother who was studying for an exam at that moment. And he's like, listen, you need to go call Nonna. So my grandmother lived on top of me at the time. And also my mom's sister, who's a doctor, was there, luckily. So I called for them, and I think she must have told them, listen, I'm not feeling good. Anyway, and I just see her being carried out of the house. She couldn't walk. She was literally just completely lifeless. But like the last thing she told me was like, "I love you, Poopa." And all I remember after that was my dad coming back home and was like, I'm just seeing him shake his head and just go, she's with the angels now. So afterwards, like we went to go see this lifeless body at the hospital, and I just a very traumatic moment for the whole family. Very, very, very traumatic. But
I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Honestly, even just listening to it is hard, let alone having to actually experience that.
it, it's throughout the years I've, I think it then led to my depression also. Also with this fear of abandonment, like the people who love you can leave you, and not having that family member, like especially because she was my mother. I didn't have someone to teach me about certain things about being a woman and all that. But and then again, I'm very, very grateful for my father and my brother, who have been just literally my life, and I'm very grateful that we're super close. But yeah, it's led to some other unresolved issues, but I've been actually learning a lot from that experience right now.
So you mentioned that probably, I mean, directly it then impacted how your own mental health developed. But as you grew up, and how old were you when this happened?
So I was around 10 years old when she had actually committed suicide.
And then how would you say that it's affected your own mental health? Like when did it start?
I think I never realized that I was suffering with anxiety. It was only until somebody mentioned to me, I think you're anxious. I think you're suffering with anxiety. And I'm just like, what is anxiety? I started seeing a therapist, but should always speak to me, but I didn't, I guess, care at that point in time. I think I was badly affected with depression. It hit me then throughout COVID when I was studying in London. I was literally, I stopped going to university, which was everything, what helped me get through a lot was actually, studying and working and doing my creative work. And when that all got taken away and I was locked inside my really small apartment there, I think that's when it first hit me properly. And then I moved back to Malta. And then eventually I started seeing my therapist during that time, and she also uses yoga as her practice. And I also went on antidepressants for a while, but it numbed everything for me. I couldn't be creative. I couldn't think about my designs. And it made me feel actually even more isolated, because I felt like a lot of people don't understand what depression is. Like I hear as well a lot of people saying, "Oh, I'm just so depressed," and I'm just like, "Bitch, are you? Like, do you know what it means?" And they use certain words like in vain, and I'm just like, yeah, I think just be careful of your words. So yeah, when I was on antidepressants, it just numbed everything for me. And I felt like I don't think I'm going to heal from this. It's just, you're putting just a mask over something. So unfortunately, I just stopped this medication, which was a very bad idea because I had some side effects from it. But I knew deep down like that this is not the answer. And with my therapist, I did a lot of work, which I think really helped. And I would see her sometimes even a few times per week, because again, it's not just, you have to as well find somebody who really listens to you, listens and gives you really good feedback. And I started doing the mental work. I found that practicing breath work, doing yoga, and journaling was one of the main things that had really helped me through this. And I knew that then, I was so certain then, I'm like, medication to me is not the way. As well, because of my mom, she had overdosed on her medication. I'm just like, I don't want to be on this. I don't think it's going to help somebody. I believe that there are other ways, doing meditation and practicing, mindfulness and gratitude and all that. You're building new neural pathways for your brain. But I think it's important as well to take your time, the time that you need to, to be by yourself, to learn what you are feeling as well and how to cope. I felt that a lot of my friends in the past who didn't understand the way I was acting at that moment in time, and neither did I really know that's why I was acting in that way. So I felt like I lost quite a few friends due to that. And even when I would sort of be in my really bad, anxious moments, I would mistreat people. I would get very angry at them and I would push them away. But soon after, I had calmed down, months, even 6 months, a year later, I reached out and I apologized. But one of the friends told me, Kel, I knew you weren't well. I knew you were going through something, so I completely understood you. So I think it is really about education. But yeah.
And having that sense of understanding and empathy as well, right?
Yes,
Not taking
absolutely.
things personally when it comes to mental health.
I've had my moments as well with certain friends where I won't text back for days and weeks. And it reached the point with one of my closest friends. And he's just like, Kel, please text me back. Let me know you're okay. And it was from that moment onwards, I said, I'm always going to reply to his message. I always appreciate people who message me and say, hey, Kel, I know you're not in the mood of messaging at the moment or being, around people, but just I'm here for you. So then I noticed there are a few people who really are aware of this and who care, and I think it's important finding and surrounding yourself with those type of people because it helps you a lot. I would say always try seek help. You cannot do this alone. Surround yourself with good people. Do the mental work. It's okay to rest and recover as much as you need, but you also got to ride the wave.